and get rid of trying, right? When we're going to break a habit that we don't like, or we're going to change something in our life that we don't like. We want to strive to go towards a positive, and because right now it's making us feel like the negative, right? So there's a system in place to do that. And first you have to work out with the affirmation itself. How do you word that? What do you say? How many times a day? So I'm going to run down the little guidelines that we have to do this. Okay. So one, we're going to repeat your affirmation before we get to the affirmation. Don't get anxious here. Okay. So we're going to repeat the affirmation 3 times per day, minimum 3 times per day. So that's easy to do, right? Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Or when you wake up, when you go to bed, and at lunchtime. How's that? 3 times a day, keeping it consistently through your mind. The best times is in the morning, middle of the day, and then at night. It's better to work consistently and in depth with a few affirmations. So only work with 3 or less as you're achieving these. 3 or less. Don't go with a top 10 list of affirmations. You're going to read these affirmations out. By the time you get to the 10th one, you already forgot about the first one, right? Or you'll remember the first and the 10th, but you won't remember any of the stuff in the middle, right? 4 through 7. So you're going to do that. We're only going to work with a few at a time. Always do it in a private place. Read each affirmation out loud. Write them down. We want to work with 3 affirmations. We're going to write them down on a little sheet of paper or type them out or however you want to do. Stick them in your pocket, your purse, wherever, and that you can pull this out and you can look at that and you can read them out loud. Do it in a private place. Read them out loud. You're going to say them. You're going to send it out to the universe, right? You're going to send it out to your higher power. You're going to send it out to your angels, and you can't do that by whispering or having it in your mental thoughts. Maybe your angels don't know telepathic powers. There you go. Let's work with what we have. So you're going to say these out loud. Close your eyes and then visualize, and we're going to get to that next. So visualize yourself experiencing the affirmation as if it was, as if you were there right now. So if that's, in my case, if it's that my affirmation is that my audience loves me and I love my audience, well, then I'm not going to envision being in the audience looking at me up on stage, right? I'm going to be on stage looking out at my audience, at my class. Every class is an audience, right? Or you are my audience. So I'm looking at you right now. I'm looking at you. So hear any sounds that you might hear. It could be like in this case, applause. I might hear applause. I might hear laughter. I might hear serious, someone looking at me seriously. I might hear different things if it's a restaurant type situation where I'm talking to an audience there. I might hear clanging of plates and things of that sort. And then we're going to feel the feelings that you would feel when you achieve that success. And then we're going to say your affirmation again, and then we're going to repeat this process every single day. Okay? So that's the rules to begin with. I hope you wrote those down. If not, I'll review them at the end of this segment, okay? So now, what do you want for an affirmation? An affirmation, ideally, is going to create a feeling within you. So it could be as simple, there's an action and there's a goal affirmation. So depending upon where you are in life and what you're striving to achieve, if you're trying to break a habit of some sort, or maybe it's that you're more introverted at work. So like a good example for that would be, I'm joyfully speaking up in meetings. Are you more of a wallflower right now and you're not doing that? So maybe that's the affirmation that you say to yourself. I'm joyfully speaking up in meetings. I'm feeling great with everything I do. I'm happily loving myself just the way I am. Here's a couple more. I'm calmly trusting myself and going for my dream. That could be one. I'm easily carrying out all of my responsibilities. Maybe that's it. Maybe you're just not holding yourself accountable. And so now we want to do that. I'm easily carrying out all my responsibilities. I'm earning money more easily and quickly every day. These are a few good ones. Now, what if I said I'm earning $5,000 quickly and more easily every day? Could be a possibility, but if you've never attained or never made $5,000 a day in your life, what's the feeling that's going to go with that? You're going to feel all of a sudden like overwhelmed. You're going to feel, so when you put a number with something, or like a weight goal, what if I put in there, I am 50 pounds lighter than before, than the scale says. I'm 50 pounds lighter. I'm going to lose 50 pounds. How does that make you feel? Pretty overwhelming when you put a number with it like that. So a simple thing is to pull that number out, because one, what if you said that the universe really took care of you and said, you know what, here, we're going to give you anorexia? That's an extreme case. Now I'm sure everybody went, what? Don't say that. And that's true. You don't know how the universe is going to make it happen. So let's not put a number with it. Let's just put a feeling with it. So instead of that would be for money, let's say I'm earning more money more easily and quickly every day. That'd be a good one, because now it's like if you had an issue with money, now you're just feeling the money coming in, right? You're not putting a number with it, where if all of a sudden you don't get that check for $500 or $5,000 or $10,000 or whatever number you're putting with it, if all of a sudden that check doesn't start rolling in and you don't see that check in your mailbox after a week of doing this, you're going to be like, this doesn't work. This doesn't work. Well, it's working, but it may be working against you because you're all of a sudden saying this doesn't work. So that's how life works with this. The affirmations work for you if you use them correctly. But it's got to create a feeling. You can't create a negative feeling. So if you all of a sudden feel that something's not happening, that's when it starts pulling back and you start pounding it back down. The easiest way I can describe this to you is you're planting a seed. An affirmation is a seed. There's an affirmation seed that you're planting inside the soil, right? So you're watering it every day by saying it, and you're putting it in the sun, and the sun is going to heat it up and make it, and you might fertilize it a little bit. And every time you say that affirmation 3 times a day, that's when it starts to blossom. But what happens is, when you plant a seed, think of that. A seed grows down first. It roots into that soil. It's going to root, and it's going to make a really strong base. So every time you say it, you're making another root base grow out, and it's getting strong and solid, so that when it comes up through the ground, when all of a sudden that comes up through the ground, I like doing that, right? Good visual right there. And starts to the plants you start seeing it above the ground and start to blossom and grow and make it, eventually become a flower and everything. Then that's when it has to root first. It's got to have a really strong base so that doesn't just fall over. Otherwise, if it just shot up a stem out of the ground, it's going to just fall over at the first wind, right? First thing that happens, it's going to just fall over. So just think of that way. You're planting a seed first with that affirmation. And every time you say it, the root base is getting stronger and stronger. And then eventually the plant starts to grow. And then eventually you get the blossom and the beautiful flower, right? Which is either your money or that beautiful body that you always wanted, or things like that. But every time you do that, that's where it goes. So that's the first thing. So do the affirmation correctly. And the affirmation's got to create... Wait for it. You have to visualize it, right? We talked about